Well, you might be thinking, oh, what's he going to be doing with a Pepsi Max bottle? So this is a plastic bottle, and my son came over at the weekend, and he likes Pepsi Max, so he drank a whole bottle of this. And I thought, well, I need to make something with that bottle because I don't want to put it in the trash. I also need a doorstop. First thing I'm going to do is take the label off, and these come off really easy now. They're plastic labels, unlike when they used to be paper labels. And I'm also going to cut the top of the bottle off here. And I don't mind if it's not completely level. That doesn't matter, because it'll all come quite clear in a minute why it won't matter. Now I've got it cut up, I've got the top cut, so it's kind of made a lot smaller bottle, and I've got the middle bit. Now, I'm not going to waste this middle bit, because what I find these really useful for is when you're growing seedlings or you've got herbs in the house, and they start to get a little bit of leggy, if you put those over the top, it will stop them from going bleh. And also, the sun and things can still get into them. I'm now going to go and wash this up, because I don't want it to be all sticky, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next once I've done that. They do come out really nice and clean, really simple as well, just a little bit of soapy water. Now, what I need to do is glue this onto here, but I need some weight in this, because obviously it's got to hold the door. So what I've done is, I've just got an old plastic bag that's zip-locked here, and I've filled it with some sand. And then to ensure that that Ziploc doesn't come undone, because that would be a nightmare, having sand everywhere. You could use gravel if you wanted to, but I didn't have any gravel. I'm running a little bead of hot glue along there as well, and that will ensure that that is nicely set in there. And then I'm going to fold these little flaps over and hot glue those down as well. And that will fit in there nice. And that way it's really just quite a nice weight now to pop into the bottle, giving it a really useful weight. And now I'm going to pop this top on here and then glue that on as well. And that's glued on there easily, and just to smooth that glue off a little bit, I run a little bit of tape around it. And now we've got the body of our gnome. I want to have a better base than what's on here, so I'm going to put a little bit of foil in here to pack that out, and then put a nice circle of cardboard on there so it's got something to sit on. And it's really easy to know what size circle you got, because you've got a centre to your bottle there anyway, like that. You just put your compass to where you want your base to come to, so I want it to come to about there, and that's the size of circle you cut out. It couldn't be easier. Well, the base is all glued on there nicely now, and that is going to sit on there lovely and level. I padded out these inside bits so this doesn't really move too much, because I don't want it to move too much. I've also made a hat, and all I did was cut a half circle out of a piece of cardboard box, and that is going to fit on there like that. And that'll be easy to glue on. All I need to do is go around this top with some hot glue, and then put that down onto it, push it hard, that will dry on there, and then we've made the little gnome's hat and his little body. What I'm going to cover now is this plastic with some paper mache and the whole of the hat as well. Tuck it under, and that way it will make it look a lot more secure, and it will give me somewhere to be able to paint on and add some extra bits to it as well. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is ruffle this up so that the glue has got something to adhere to. And all I'm using to rough this up with is some sandpaper. Not an overly coarse one, but one that is going to be rough enough to give me a base, and then the glue will stick onto that much nicer than it would if it was just the shiny bottle. That's roughed that up nicely. That glue will stick on there. But before I go ahead with that as well, I need to make sure that I know where the front of him is, and this is his front, because his seam for his hat is going to be at the back. And the reason why I want to know where his front is because I want to give him kind of like a little paunched belly. And again, I'm going to be using kitchen paper or kitchen foil to give him his little belly, and I can do that by just bringing in all the bits until I get to the size of the belly that I want to go. Now, I'm not going to push this down really tight at this stage, because I want to be able to push this and sculpt this around to give him more of a contoured belly. This will just glue on there with some hot glue. Glue should be dry now. I'm going around with my fingers, just smoothing this out a little bit. It makes it just easier once you do the next stage, but also it kind of blends this into the little gnome as well. And then once I've got that all where I want it, I'll go behind it with my glue gun like this, and then push that to the bottle to ensure it's all nicely stuck. I'm now ready to put the paper mache on, and obviously it's going to be better to work from the top down. All I'm using is a white glue, PVA glue, Elmer's glue, school glue, whatever you want to call it. Putting a bit on there like that, and then I'm going to go round and put on the paper. Again, this is all from Amazon packaging, this brown paper that I use. And I will continue to do this all the way around till everything is fully covered. And then when I get to the rim, I will tuck that under the rim of the hat. I'm also going to be making a nose for this, and also the bobble that goes on the top. Now, I could make the bobble out of wool or some cotton or something like that, but unfortunately both my little doggies would think it was a toy of theirs and would then consistently try and eat it or play with it. And as it's going to be for an internal door, I really don't want them dragging it across the floor. Well, this is all nice and dry now, and it's gone hard. But what I want to do is cover it in some paper mache clay. Now, what I had noticed is I've given him a bit of a belly, but I haven't given him a bum. And he does need a bum. I'm going to add a little bit of crushed foil on here, opposite his belly, but quite low, so he looks like he's got a bum. So I've made his nose. There's his nose, so that needs to be stuck on there like that, ready. And his little pommel, and that needs to go on there like that. So I'm going to put those on there now as well. All I need to do is pop some hot glue around where his bum is. Get to the opposite side like that. Get it as low as I want it to be, which is about there. And then I'm going to glue down for his nose. I know his nose wants to fit there like that. So again, that's just a case of putting some hot glue on there, getting it in the right place, which is going to be there. He's got quite a nice large bulbous nose. There we are. So his nose is on there, so he's starting to come together. And then for this pommel, I made a little hole in it as I was making it. All I'm doing is filling that with glue, and that should just fit on there. And once that is dry, that glue, that will stay on there quite rigid, and then I can put the paper mache clay that I made around here. Now, this has all gone nice and hard, and what I've done is I've covered this hat so far, I'm not sure if you've seen the video, in my homemade paper clay. And the reason I had to make some homemade paper clay is because I run out of paper clay. So if you want to know how I made it, there is a video showing you. It's really easy. I used old newspapers. And it dries brick hard. It is brilliant. I'm so pleased with it. It's going to save me an absolute fortune. So before I carry on any further, what I'm going to do is I cut out some little hands and arms. Very simple ones for this little gnome. And they're going to go on the sides like that. And all I need to do is use my hot glue gun, a bit of hot glue on them, and stick them to the sides. And then I'll pad those out a little bit with some foil, and then go over them when I do the rest of the body with the paper clay. Well, my arms are all nicely stuck on there now, and they're not going to go anywhere. And I've padded them out both sides with a bit of foil. I've also made a little indent there because that's where the arms are going to meet the gloves. And it's really easy to put this paper mache or paper that you've made onto the model. All I use is a little knife like this. Now, you don't want this to be too thick on there because you really want this to dry out well before you go putting any more details on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a good covering in this. Do a few details around the nose, let it dry, and then I can go round and finish it all off and put the more detail in. I haven't done the beard at this stage because the beard will go on last. And if you want to get something that's really smooth, I just dip my knife into there. I don't want it too wet because the last thing you want to do is have things that are too wet and adding more water to it. But a little bit of a damp knife, as you can see, will allow that to smooth over really lovely. Look at that. That's what I used on the hat. And then once this is dry, honestly, it's like concrete. It is so hard. So I'm going to go round, I'm going to finish all this off, put a little bit of detail in, and then I'll show you what it looks like just before I put it away to dry. The other thing is this doesn't crack, I found, once it's dry, which is really useful. Well, his first layer's on there now, and along with some of the detail, I will put the arms in once all this is dry, because I don't want to mess up what I've already got there, and I want to put a little bit of extra detail in there. I love the way his little bulbous nose is coming out. And again for the beard. Now I've got him on my battery operated turntable and in front of a fan, and as he's turning round he's going to dry a lot quicker like this because that's heat coming out there. So technically I suppose he's being spit roasted. But that'll speed up the drying. If I didn't do that, then it would probably take maybe a day or a little bit longer to dry. But this way, it will be dry within, I don't know, a few hours. Well, he's all lovely and dry now, and his beard's all on, and he's all ready to be painted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint his fleshy parts a terracotta colour. Don't know why, just thought I would. And then paint the rest. And I'm not going to show the whole painting process because I've shown that on quite a few videos. Well, I've finished painting the little gnome, and I think he's come out quite well. I've done him a gold belt, he's got a white beard or a greyish beard, red top, black trousers with his little bum crease, white gloves on, some little red lips. I even give him nostrils as well because I thought, well, he's got to breathe, bless him, and little buttonholes as well. And I think he's come out really, really cute. The only thing is, I wasn't going to give him eyes, but I just feel that he does need the eyes. So I've cut out some eyes on my cricket, and I'm going to use those. And I just think they'll stick on there really nicely before I go over and varnish him. Now, I haven't decided on a name for him yet, and I would like to give him a name. So everyone came up with such great names for the little doggy I made. So if you could come up with some names for the gnome, I would really appreciate it. So let me know in the comments what you think we should call him. And then I might do a little video of him and the little doggy with their name tags on. This one I'll probably do and put his name on his hat. So I'm going to finish off putting these eyes on. And then I'm going to give it a satin varnish. I don't want to give it a gloss varnish because I think that will be too shiny. So once he's got the varnish on, I'll come back and I'll show you exactly what he looks like completely finished. He's all finished now. I'm really pleased with how he's come out. I think the eyes just set him off. I'm so pleased they put them on there. I also want to say to all the awesome people that bought me a coffee last month, thank you so much for that. It really does help me to be able to make these sorts of things and buy the bits and pieces I need for them. I can't tell you how much. And your names are on my coffee board. And I think this has come out great considering what it started off as. It started off as scrap paper, a waste bottle of cola, and the I can't say it. And the paper clay or air dry clay that I made. And that has been a real success. I've done a couple of projects with it now as well. So if you want to see how I make my own paper clay, check out the video that's coming up next. It's really easy, really simple, and it will save you a good amount of money as well. Be sure to put your suggestions of the gnome's name in the comments below. That will really help me make a decision. And then I'm going to put the name on the hat. You can find the links for everything that I've used today in the description below. Please boot the like button. It really helps get this channel out there. I'm trying to grow this channel. Take care. Enjoy your crafting. Bye. Say bye, Gnome.
Bye. I look forward to my name. Bye-bye.